So you might be asking yourself, how do I become a private investigator? Well, to begin with, let's talk about qualifications. There are no requirements on the qualifications that you need to have to become a private investigator. The most common and the most useful qualification that you could achieve is a level 3 in private investigative practice. It's not strictly required, but it is required to join some professional bodies, and in the future when licensing becomes mandatory, it may well become a requirement to get a license. It's highly advisable to do so. Once you've become qualified, you could either work for yourself or work for a company. Working for yourself is the hardest way, but the problem with finding employment is no one really employs private investigators. Most companies are a group of 2 to 5 people who will never employ anyone, and that's maybe to answer the phone. Just because the demand is not that big, really. I mean, for a lot of people, I think it's more of a part-time thing. There's just not that much demand for private investigators. Not like in the US, where you know, people hire them much more frequently. So, let's just say that you're going to start your own firm. You're on the Companies House website, you've got a name picked out, and you are ready to go. Well, there's a few things that you'll need once it's registered and before you can start going out into the big bad world. And so these are just the requirements. So you need to register with the Information Commissioner's Office as a controller. Yes, because you'll be handling people's personal data, and it's a legal requirement when you're processing people's personal data. So I think it costs about £35 yearly, so it's not a big overhead at all. The other requirement, of course, would be insurance. You need some professional indemnity insurance. Now, from a legal perspective, it's not required. The police aren't going to come and shut you down if you don't have insurance, but it could cost you big if you don't. If something happens, if someone doesn't like the evidence that you've given them, or they incur financial loss because of what you've told them or shown them, then they could take you to court, and without insurance that could be extremely costly, and it would most definitely shut you down from a financial point of view. The other thing, of course, is you'll need some basic equipment. You'll need a camera, like the one I'm using, some camcorders. GoPro type cameras are really helpful for a camcorder. The big handhelds are useful still, but the GoPros are much smaller, very cheap as well. Especially if you're just starting out, you'll want to get some of those. Then you'll want to get a website together and register on all the various review websites and business listings. And once you've done all that, you might get a couple phone calls to go out. A quick word on professional bodies. So there is a few professional bodies at the minute. They're not mandatory by any means, but they do give people a baseline. So you have those joining requirements, and so you could say I've fulfilled all of those requirements on that website. Like, for example, the Association of British Private Investigators requires that you have the level 3 and the insurance, and to register with the Information Commissioner's Office, the ICO. So they are a badge of I've got it and I've done it. But the minimum is an LTD, really. You can go self-employed, but I would say it's a requirement. An LTD, Information Commissioner's Office, and your insurance. If you've got those 3 things, really, from a legal standpoint anyway, you could go out into the world and show off your skills. Some other points of note are there are some very, very helpful databases. A lot of them are a pay per search. So you can't just join for for a year and make use of it. No, they'll get their money's worth out of you for sure. And of course you've got the other technical equipment. I'm not going to talk about GPS trackers, but you might want one. And yeah, there's some other pieces of kit that you will need along the road. With the main thing will be databases and cameras are the primary things you'll need. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do anything for anyone really. Don't fool yourself into thinking that you can use your phone camera. The zoom is terrible. Yes, on all the phones it's terrible. The zoom is terrible. The quality can be quite good, and they're definitely good for covert. You know, if you're walking down the road, perhaps you're on the phone, and you know, you can record people like that. And then they do have a use. But you will need your own camera. And that's how you become a private investigator in the UK.